Do you suffer with a lot of bad thoughts, a lot of intrusive thoughts? I'm going to talk about why we all have those and you are not alone. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a child therapist and I make videos for kids with anxiety and OCD. Today I want to talk about intrusive thoughts, bad thoughts, because a lot of times kids with OCD get really hung up on the fact that they're having them. They get really disturbed by the fact that they're having these thoughts to begin with. What kind of brain would have these thoughts? So I thought it'd be helpful to go into a visual explanation, a little bit of a scientific explanation of what is going on and why these thoughts are happening. So I want to use this analogy about filtering for you to understand how intrusive thoughts work with OCD. So we all get thoughts that come into our brain that are disturbing, things that we would never think of doing or thinking about, inappropriate thoughts, thoughts that don't represent who we are, and they get filtered out really quickly. So quickly that we may not even be aware that we're having them. A lot of times it's like, whoop, whoop, disturbing thought, whoop, disturbing thought gone. So fast that we may not consciously even be aware that we're having them. Now, unfortunately, when you have OCD, if you think about it as a filter, your filter is clogged. And so things get stuck and they get stuck on repeat. And then the more we focus on them, the more they grow. So you get an anxious thought, disturbing thought, an upsetting feeling, an upsetting image, whatever it is for you, and it doesn't get filtered right away. And so you're over here and you're like, what the heck is that? Now that's a disturbing thought. That's not a thought I would ever want to have. And unfortunately, because it's not getting filtered, right? It's got nowhere else to go. And now you're aware of it. What do you think happens? OCD's like, well, I hope I don't have another one. Oh, I did. That's disturbing. And then OCD's like, you want to get rid of these? You just have to do this behavior, do this compulsion, avoid this or do that. And you're like, I'll do it. And the more you do for OCD, what do you think happens? The more thoughts you have. And so they get more disturbing. Oh my gosh, I'm having more of them. This is not fun. And this is what it looks like when you have intrusive thoughts, because they're getting stuck. And the more you get anxious about them and the more you do compulsions to get rid of them, the bigger they grow, which is very upsetting. So the initial thought we all have. We all have really crazy, weird thoughts. Every single human being has these. The only difference is that when you have OCD, you notice it. And when you notice it, you panic. And when you panic, you grow more. Because when you grow more, you want to do a compulsion or you want to avoid something, which is another type of compulsion, to get rid of it. And instead of getting rid of it, it grows. So the way to work with intrusive thoughts, although this is going to be an easy way to explain it, but very, very hard to do in reality, is that when you have an intrusive thought, you look at it and you think, yep, there it is. There's my OCD. Always making me have these weird thoughts, right? Whatever, right? I know that's an OCD thought. It is what it is. And so I'm not going to do my compulsion to get rid of it. I'm going to just sit with it. Yep, there's that thought. And when you sit with it and you give your OCD some time, the interesting thing is you allow it to eventually filter out. The problem is most people don't give it time. They panic, they do compulsions, they obsess about the obsession, and they don't give it time. And so working through it and having a thought, whoop, and sitting with it, sitting with the discomfort, learning how to live with that discomfort, and I know that's harder than it sounds, living with discomfort, living with doubt, living with whatever this fear is for you. Yep, there it is. There's a thought, right? I'm having an OCD thought. And you let it filter out. Over time, the cool thing is you start to be able to filter things out a lot better. And the way that you do this, and we're not going to talk about it in this video, but the way that you do this is by purposely having a thought like that on purpose through exposure response prevention, so that you can train you can train your reaction so that you can get this reaction a lot quicker than this reaction. Ah! That's not fun. So hopefully the next time you get one of these thoughts, because I'm sure you have many of those a day, instead of having this reaction, you're going to have this reaction. Yep, I know what to do with this. And you're going to let it naturally filter without giving it the love and attention that OCD desperately craves. So I hope you realize that 1, we all have these thoughts, and 2, what you can do to get these thoughts to move quicker and get filtered quicker through your brain without a lot of distress. I know that's really tricky, and I get that, but over time and with practice, it can be done. So I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do, and I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Take care.